don't run too much PMax anymore, but that's one of the reasons why is I can never scale it, and I couldn't really generate demand past a certain point. And here's a weird thing is I have not had good luck lately by running PMax and standard shopping next to each other. It's always been like a 95-5. Like I have not been able to do my old strategies from 1 and 2 years ago. Like they just don't run nowadays, for whatever reason.
Even though the products are different, John, I don't have the similar products, even though the categories are different.
Oh no, that works. Sorry, Glenn. I thought you were saying run PMax and standard shopping against each other.
No, what I was saying is that let the PMax do the prospecting theoretically by taking TROAS off, but then maybe because that thing's going to go wherever it friggin' wants. But at least if you had run standard shopping beside it, maybe with the low TROAS, but do it as an RLSA.
Yeah, that's what I've been having no luck with. We could definitely try it here. I wouldn't bank on it. Yeah, for whatever reason, the PMax basically does its own RLSA because it does remarketing also on shopping. And that's what Maximize Conversions does really well is like it starts to bid higher for when a person has had a good search term that PMax was able to capture so that it can predict when it's going to be able to convert inbound on shopping. So it's like, how does TROAS work on standard shopping? Well, if it's a warm audience and it's a second click, even though they were cold first click in PMax or standard shopping, it will lock into that. Like that campaign now owns that person. It wins priority. So that's what I've been thinking about is the only way it's been able to predict on inbound is if it can control multiple clicks in the path, even when it was cold. Which I think is a byproduct of, hey, this thing just will not let this person go to a different campaign. So that's a theory that I have. I don't run too much PMax anymore, but that's one of the reasons why is I can never scale it, and I couldn't really generate demand past a certain point. I'm talking like high spends. So that's why I think that my strategies are different. In here, I would just remove the TROAS and just see if this thing can, when it spends its daily budget, what can it go up to? And the other thing though, like for Android Review, the where I would say is before this, get an understanding with the client by saying we're looking at 3 main things: media efficiency ratio, NCAC, and new customer volumes. Does new customers go up? Yes. Does the cost acquired first time customers stay the same? Yes. Does media efficiency ratio stay about the same? Yes. Okay, good. Then just keep pushing until next week when we say how did that go. But only those 3 things, just media efficiency ratio, because I have no idea about the new versus returning customers. But if we push too hard on new and we outpace our returning, even if NCAC is stable, we're going to throw up the ratio that's going to dip MER, and that's where they're going to hurt. 100 new customers at $60 NCAC when NCAC didn't change is great. Unless they only had 10 new customers at 60 and 500 returning customers, then we're going to really throw off that balance, that equilibrium. So not NMER, but just MER, NCAC, and new customer volumes. If those hold, I mean, it's really, this is good that the costs and conversions are in line. It just means that we're restricting it too hard. What if we released it?
Okay.
Cool. Yep. And also, I would say before just doing that as well, just get a sense as to what they're doing on Meta. If it's like, oh, I'm only spending 1,000, okay, then we're in the clear. But if it's like, no, we spend 10 grand a month, then we got to look at overlapping campaigns, that kind of stuff. Because our conversion methodology right now is, did we earn a click regardless of where it was, which is sometimes also Meta. So because we don't have necessarily any sort of omni-channel police, we could show a huge spike up in revenue, and so could Meta, but his bank account shows a smaller spike in revenue. And then
I'd be surprised if they were spending very much at all, to be honest. At least from GA4, but who knows?
Yeah, sometimes Meta teams will develop a landing page and they'll throw their own. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because if they develop their own landing page and they throw their own pixel on there and they're doing well, the first thing that we're going to see is organic traffic being high, which is exactly what we saw. Because now people are just Googling the brand name because they're the overflow from what they're not tracking on their pixel landing pages by coming back to our main site. That's confirmed again though with Google Search Console. Do we actually have Google Search Console?
Yep, we do. We do.
How does the because that's a bunch of organic traffic is what GA4 says.
Yep. When I looked at it, all the terms are or brand.
They are brand.
Yep. Hold on.
That might be an indication that Meta is actually doing a lot. Because if it is a lot of organic traffic, either yeah,
That's it. Majority is from goodness. This is the brand name.
got it. Our brand ROAS is at a 5.7, which is really healthy, and our click-through rate's 53%, which is people are looking for us. And I don't believe that's being generated by the downturn of PMax. So there's something else there. Either this company's been in business 20 years, which if they're ready to kind of close up shop right now, I doubt it. They have a bunch of existing customers, or Meta's doing well. So we just have to verify that.
Okay.
If Meta's doing well, then remarketing audiences removed would hurt our campaigns, which would also be another point in the direction that maybe Meta's doing well. What other marketing does he run? Facebook?
He runs a small amount of Facebook, yeah, and I've asked for access to his Facebook so that Faizan and I can look at what they're doing, because he said in the meeting I had with him that they've switched from outbound to mostly remarketing in their Facebook